All right, everybody, peace. Welcome to the STBY College Football Show. Wherever, however you're listening, we're so grateful to have you here with us. As you guys know, I'm your host, Sean Cottle, and we've got a wonderful show for today, guys. We're going to be previewing some of the biggest matchups in college football this week, including Arizona, Kansas State, as you can see on the ticker, as well as Oregon State, and also perhaps the most anticipated matchup of the week. Number 6 Missouri going up against number 24 Boston College, which is for sure going to be an exciting, titillating matchup to say the least. So we're going to be covering all that, guys, and then some. But before we get started, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, so you guys can stay up to date on all related content that we post daily. And if you'd like to gain exclusive content from the Sorry to Bother You show, be sure to follow us on Patreon. You can do so by going to patreon.com, clicking on the search bar, and typing in Sorry to Bother You show. That way you can gain access to all of our exclusive content that we post daily. None of this is possible without you guys as fans, so we're so grateful and honored for all the love and support that you show us, and just to have this platform to talk about football with you guys. And as I learn more from you guys, hopefully you guys learn from me as well, and it creates a symbiotic relationship in this community that's uplifting, and I'm grateful to be a part of that. So with that being said, guys, let's go and get right into it, shall we? Like I said, very interesting matchup this week, guys, between Arizona and Kansas State. Pac-12 on the mind, but this is now a Big 12 matchup. It's very still getting used to Arizona being in the Pac-12, and it will take me some time to get used to that entirely. But we are here now. Still can't believe the Pac-12 is gone, man. But yeah, very interesting matchup, guys. Very interesting matchup between Arizona and Kansas State. And if we look at ESPN Match Predictor, Kansas State currently has a 72% chance of winning this game. And the over-under is currently set at 59.5. And the line has Kansas State minus 7.5. Kansas State last week defeated Tulane by a score of 34-27, while Arizona last week defeated NAU by a score of 22-10. While Arizona opened out the season against New Mexico by winning 61-39, and Kansas State opened out the season winning by a score of 41-6. Both teams, and specifically Arizona, are known for their very proficient passing game. Neither team runs the ball particularly well, at least on a consistent basis. Both teams are built the same, quite honestly. And if we look at the passing numbers, Fafita from Arizona currently has 595 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the year, while Johnson for Kansas State has 334 yards and 4 touchdowns and an interception, while the leading rusher for Kansas State, Giddens, has 238 yards, and the leading rusher for Arizona, Conley, has 202 yards and 3 touchdowns. So this will be the toughest opponent for both of these guys, and this will be the toughest game that each of these teams have played so far throughout the season, going into week 3. However, I do believe more is at stake for Kansas State going into this game, just because the expectations are higher. And in a year where there is no clear-cut definitive favorite to win the Big 12, Kansas State is looking for an opportunity to stake their claim and present themselves as the leading candidate to win the Big 12 this year. And this will be the first test of many they'll have this year to help validate that thought process, help validate that that opinion they have of themselves in terms of being the best team in the Big 12. And Arizona is a team, specifically last year, that struggled in the secondary, as well as Kansas. Kansas struggled in the secondary as well last year, but Kansas shored up their secondary a bit by bringing in a couple of players in the transfer portal, while Kansas State also short. I mean, they shorted the entire defense as well, especially with the recruits they brought in at the defensive line. And I expect this game to be a high scoring game. I don't, like I said, the over under is currently at 59.5. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little higher than that. I would say maybe about 65. I do expect this game to be a high scoring game, and I believe that Kansas State is slightly more physical than Arizona. However, Arizona is going to be able to throw the deep ball and get a couple of chunk plays in the passing game. However, the inability to get into a rhythm in the ground game is going to hurt their ability to run the play action, and it's going to allow Kansas State to bring in a lot of pressure from the edges and perhaps have a spy as well. So I do see Kansas State winning this game. I do believe it'll be a close game by a score of 34-30. I do believe this will be a close game. I do believe it'll be a high scoring game as well. But, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys think that Arizona is going to pull off an upset against Kansas State? Or do you guys think Kansas State is going to win this game on the road? At home. Kansas State's going to win this game at home. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Leave your thoughts in the chat room. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. And in our next segment, guys, we're going to be discussing another very interesting matchup in Week 3 of college football. So be sure to stick around for that, guys. You're not going to miss it. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. In case you missed the first segment of our show, we discussed a very interesting matchup between number 14 Kansas State and number 20 Arizona. And in this segment, guys, like I said, we're going to be discussing perhaps the most anticipated matchup of the week, with number 6 Missouri going up against number 24 Boston College. So we're not going to waste any time, guys. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. And, something that was, as a professional basketball player, something that's always interested me about football is the way that it can develop such a garnered fan base. And I say that because playing collegiately and playing at the professional level, there's the most hostile environments in basketball and the most loyal fan bases in basketball. They just pale in comparison to football. And something about the atmosphere and the aura and the mystique that comes with football at any level, I mean, even from high school to college and obviously not so much the pro level, but definitely in the collegiate level, is that energy, man. It can't be replicated anywhere. And I just find that so interesting, and it makes me think back to where sports as a whole really originated in terms of the gladiator days, in the Roman Colosseum, and they would, pit the Slavs or the slaves against different opponents and different animals, different beasts of that time, and they would watch those matches in the Colosseum, and that aura mystique, man, it obviously resonates and it directly comes from that. But that has always interested me, that energy that comes from football, man. It really can't be replicated anywhere else. And it's very interesting that combat, I would consider football to be a combat sport with the level of intensity and the physical toll that it has on the body. Combat sports, football and MMA and boxing and even wrestling in a sense. Yes, wrestling, yes. Those sports, that is perhaps the most direct transition, the most direct comparison from what sports is today compared to what sports originated as, like I said, back during the times of gladiators in ancient Rome. And that's perhaps why that energy that you see in those combat sports is so volatile, and perhaps volatile is not the word, but so prominent in comparison to other sports, because it's the most similar in terms of that combat aspect. But I digress. And in this matchup, guys, so Missouri, Boston College, very interesting matchup right here. Missouri, obviously ranked number 6, one of the best teams in the SEC, best teams in college football, obviously ranked number 6, going up against Boston College, who, as you guys know, defeated Florida State last week. And I still think that was a good win for Boston College, but as we start to move forward throughout the season, we are going to start to see that Florida State just isn't that good, which is so unfortunate, because to go from being close to making the playoff last year to now, if you ask me, they have no chance to make the playoff. There's just no way. I just don't see how they're able to make the playoff now. Not even the best team in the SEC, probably not even the top 5 team in the ACC. My apologies. Probably not even the top 5 team in the ACC. I think Clemson's better. I believe Miami is better. You can make the argument that perhaps North Carolina is better. Obviously, Boston College, I believe, is better than Florida State. But a very interesting matchup between these teams. Both these teams are kind of built the same, actually. Both teams like to run a lot of RPO, have dual threat quarterbacks. Both teams rely heavily on their interior presence on the D-line, creating pressure. Both teams don't really generate much pressure against the pass, but they do a good job of stopping the run. Both teams have dynamic playmakers at the receiving position. Both teams have a lot of height at the receiving position. And that's why this is going to be an exciting matchup. Both teams are built the same. If we look at matchup predictor, Missouri currently has a 76% chance of winning this game. Game's going to be played in Missouri. The over-under is currently set at 53.5. The line currently has Missouri minus 17. And I believe that's a little high. I believe that's quite high. And will this game be a 2-score game the way the line has it? I don't believe so. I believe this game's going to be closer than that. Boston College's ability to get into a rhythm, get into a flow offensively, and control time of possession is something that's been underlooked throughout this season. If you look at how they played against Florida State, that's part of the reason they were so successful, is because they did a good job controlling time of possession, and they prevented Florida State from getting into a rhythm offensively. And that's going to play a factor in this game. If Missouri can't keep their offense on the field, it's obviously just going to allow more time for Missouri to keep their offense on the field. And I believe that Boston College is going to look to control this game through possession as opposed to making big plays. And that is going to affect the rhythm that Missouri is able to get in offensively. But this is going to be a good test for Missouri, specifically defensively. And we talked about how they do a good job of generating pressure from the inside. But how good are Missouri? How good is Missouri? How good will they be at stopping those outside runs, those jet sweeps, those zones, those counters? How good will Missouri be at containing those outside runs? I'm interested to see that. And Boston College is a perfect perfect team to see how good Missouri is against stopping the outside run. And I do believe this game's going to be close. Right now, I have Missouri winning this game by a score of 27 to... No. I'll say 32. 32 to 27. Missouri. Do believe this game's going to be pretty close. And people are going to be surprised by how physically imposing Boston College can be, especially in comparison to an SEC team. But like I said, both these teams are built pretty much the same, which is why I do believe this game's going to be a little closer than what Matchup Predictor is saying and what Vegas is saying. Like I said, I have Missouri win this game by a score of 32 to 27. And I believe that Boston College is going to be able to get a lot of yards on the ground. And I believe a lot of those RPOs is going to catch Missouri slipping, and that's going to help keep them in the game, obviously Boston College. But I think Boston College is also doing a good job of running the ball, specifically from the outside. I think Missouri will struggle a bit containing those outside runs, and that's what's going to help keep Boston College in the game as well. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Do you guys think this is going to be a close game? Or do you guys think that Missouri is going to blow out Boston College? Or do you guys have Boston College pulling off the upset? And leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. But in our next segment, guys, we're going to be discussing what used to be a Pac-12 matchup, but no more. Be sure to stick around for that, guys. You're not going to miss it. We'll be right back. Alright, everybody, welcome back. In case you missed the second segment of our show, we previewed the highly anticipated matchup between Missouri and Boston College. And in this last segment, guys, we're going to be previewing what used to be a Pac-12 matchup, but no more, is now a it's a big Oregon's in the Big Ten, and Oregon State is not in a conference. But we're going to be previewing this rivalry matchup between Oregon and Oregon State. And Oregon's coming off a victory against Boise State, in which they won 37-34. A game that should not have been that close, but too many defensive lapses, specifically in the secondary on Oregon's end, allowed Boise State to stay in that game. While Oregon State is coming off a 21-0 victory against San Diego State. We know Oregon State, very physical, specifically along the defensive line. Great defense, great secondary, not very explosive on the offensive side of the ball. Those struggles to get into a rhythm offensively can be one-dimensional, especially when the running attack isn't going and they're not in the rhythm. They're not able to create good blocking and create running lanes. Then Oregon State's offense can be stifled tremendously. And while Oregon State, we know their offense is going to be proficient under Dan Lanning. However, defensively, I do see some cause for concern on Oregon's end, specifically, like I said, in the secondary. What I saw against Boise State is a little alarming, still early in the season, though. And however, Oregon, what they do a great job with, they do a great job against the run. And that is why I do believe this game is not going to be close. In particular, listen, the over-under is currently at 50, and the line has Oregon minus 16. And this is a home game for Oregon State. And, I believe that's pretty accurate. I'm on par with that too. I have Oregon winning this game by a score of 40-17. I don't believe this game is going to be particularly close, and I guess I do believe this game is going to be a blowout, because what Oregon does well is taking away the run defensively, and Oregon State they primarily do a great job of running the ball. So what's going to happen once Oregon takes away the running attack from Oregon State? Will Oregon State still be able to produce offensively? And I just don't believe that's the case. Though there are a lot of question marks in the secondary for Oregon, I don't believe Oregon State possesses enough threats on the outside to legitimately make a mark or be explosive against this Oregon defense. So like I said, I have Oregon winning this game by a score of 41 to 17. 41-17 Oregon. 41-17 Oregon. And it's, this would have been a highly anticipated Pac-12 matchup a year ago, but due to conference realignment, things that is no longer the case. So interesting how things can change over time or in the blink of a moment. Life just comes at you fast. One moment you've got this way of living, you got this lifestyle, and you got this routine, and the next is gone. So, and nothing in this life is, especially in this physical life, nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary, man. So we know we have to be sure to not place our value, place our self-worth in anything in this secular, in this physical world, because it's all temporary, and you can only place your value and your worth into something that's in alignment with your spirit, and that's something that's eternal. Your value is what you place your value in has to be eternal, because your spirit is eternal. So the only thing that's eternal in this life is your relationship with the Most High. So that's how I perceive it. That's how I see you. It's you're doing yourself a disservice by placing your value and self-worth in anything that's temporary. So for you to place your value and your self-worth in anything in this physical world you're not only doing yourself a disservice, but it's naive in a sense as well. But I digress. Well, with that being said, guys, that's it for our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a wonderful show. And if you haven't already, like I said, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, so you guys can stay updated on all our latest content that we post daily. And none of this is possible if you guys are fans, so we're so grateful and honored for all the love and support that you guys show us. We'll be back again tomorrow, guys, with another college football show. Continue to stay safe, be vigilant, make smart decisions, and until next time, guys, peace.